Good evening, my dark and lovely souls. My name is Lenny Graves, and I'm a tarot card reader and astrologer. I cast fortunes here on TikTok or YouTube, wherever you might have found me. But sometimes I like to tell a story, a little fable, a parable, if you will, because I believe in the godless age that we live in. It falls upon the magicians and the witches of the world to inspire and guide and do things like that. And sometimes a little story might help. And this goes along with a lot of the love readings that I've been doing of late. So I thought I would tell you the story of the frog and the scorpion. It's a very simple story, and you might have heard it before, but I really believe, my dark and lovely souls, when we tell a story, when we make it our own and retell it, we add something to that story. So I hope this story impacts you, and if it does, you tell it to someone else and you make it your story as well, if that makes sense. But like I said, it's a real simple story, and again, it's the frog and the scorpion. A long time ago, there was a great jungle. It was a great emerald, beautiful jungle full of plants and animals and wildlife and all that kind of stuff. And through the jungle, it was split in half by this mighty, rapid river, right? And it just flows. It just flows. And one day, there was a great fire that erupted on one side of the river, and it was starting to drive all the animals, away and towards the river and such. Well, this was distant from the river. It had just started, but for the frog that was sitting on the side of the river, he had no concern for this. He was kind of just out lying in the sun. He's taking joy in his life, doing whatever frogs do, right? And ribbing it away, and the river is going. It's just smoke in the distance. He doesn't care. And when the fire gets there, he's a frog. He's going to be across the river in no time. He's got that covered, right? Well, as he's sitting there, he notices a scorpion comes approaching him. The frog is instantly wary because it's a scorpion. Scorpion's very dangerous, right? It's a poisonous killer. And the frog kind of steps away, and the scorpion's like, wait, wait. And the frog is like, yes. And the scorpion, still very wary. And the scorpion, just in the nicest way, says, please, you just have to listen to me. The forest is caught on fire, and it's burning. It'll be here soon enough, along with just hordes of animals. And I have to get across the river or I'll die. And I know frogs are great swimmers, and you can take me across the river, and I would be eternally grateful, and you would have saved my life, and I would appreciate it. And the frog, very wary, was like, oh, I don't know about that because you're a scorpion, right? He's even standing away from the scorpion. And the scorpion's got like his little pinchers up and his tail away. He's like, I'm telling you, it's okay. I understand why you feel that way, but in this case, in this situation, because I need you so much, because I need to cross the river, because it's important to my life, because it's important to my well being, I wouldn't hurt you. Why would I ever do that? That doesn't benefit me. The frog is swayed by the scorpion's argument because, one, he's going to have to cross the river. He can already see the fires going. And two, the frog is a compassionate enough creature, unless you happen to be a fly. But no, the frog's a pretty chill guy as a rule, right? So he's like, I don't know. And the scorpion literally puts his little pincers together. He's like, please, please, I need you. I need you. I just will forever adore you for this, right? And the frog's like, okay, if you need me. And so the frog, he puts his body down, the scorpion gets on the top. The frog starts to swim across the river, and they're about halfway, and he's going, and the frog's like, okay. And then sure enough, bam, the scorpion stinger hits the frog in the back of the neck, and he feels the searing and the pain of the poison that starts to course through his frog veins, right? And he looks back, and as he's starting to foam, right, he's going to die, he's going to drown, and the river's going to start to take him. He's like, why did you do this? Now we'll both die. You needed me to cross. Why? And he's got this look of just sorrow and betrayal on his face. And the scorpion looks at him and says, you knew I was a scorpion. And then they drowned. They both die. And that's the story, right? And what this story basically tells us, my dark and lovely souls, and it is not a happy story indeed, is a scorpion will always be a scorpion. They cannot help themselves. It's in their nature to be that way. You can't dictate morality to a scorpion. You can't. The best way to put it, my dark and lovely souls, is again, you can't dictate. You're not. The frog was holding the scorpion to his own belief system, not really believing deep down that he himself was going to be betrayed by the scorpion. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. He was going to be betrayed by the scorpion. My dark and lovely souls, we can use this in life. Is sometimes we think that we did something wrong, or why was the situation that way, or something of that nature. And what it was is a person is going to be what a person's going to be. It's going to be in their nature to be that way. That's just the way that it is. I wish that wasn't true. I wish that sometimes, like a scorpion would see in their best interest, just like in this, to get across the river. And isn't that like that in a relationship? Sometimes, like, why wouldn't this person just be in their best interest to go across the river, or whatever we're dealing with in life? But you cannot change a person's nature. I often tell people, and my clients, my readers, lives, the whole shebang, is you cannot change a person and people don't change. It's a combination of the two things. Is if it isn't in nature for a person to be away, they're just going to be that way. And no matter how much you love them, you cannot love this out of them. No matter how much it's in their benefit, their best interest, however you want to put that, to be with you or do whatever it is they need to do, a scorpion can't change from its nature. It's still going to be a scorpion because it's just a scorpion. And the stripes on a tiger will not wash away, right? Because that's what they are. That's who they are. That's who you are. Whatever spirit animal you identify with. This is obviously just a parable. But the point is that we will find people in our lives who have natures that are different than our own. And some of them are quite dangerous. And you can usually tell this. This is like the bad boy or bad girl syndrome. How many times are you attracted to a person who's a little bad for you, a little bit dangerous, but you just can't help yourself because they're so amazing? And what happens a lot of times? Well, you get stung for it, right? Because you knew that going into it. And this is just like the warning of the parable, right? This is the fable, is that don't try to make a scorpion something it's not. And remember that when even, and this is the best part about this story, do you think that the scorpion was suicidal? Do you think it didn't want to go across the river with the frog? It absolutely wanted to go across the river with the frog. It didn't want to kill the frog. That's not the scorpion's not a murderer here. The scorpion is doing what it's in its nature to do, even though it's not beneficial to the scorpion, if that makes sense. You will encounter scorpions in your life, my dark and lovely souls. Be a wise frog and don't give them a ride across the river, because even if they wanted to change, and you'll know what I'll talk about, especially if you've got that witchy soul, and I know you do. Even if you want that person to change, people don't really change. They don't, no matter how much little stone trolls want them to, and you know that as well as I do. If it's a scorpion's nature to do something, it'll be in their nature to do something. So that is the warning of this parable, my dark and lovely souls, or fable, or whatever. Every now and then I like to tell a story. I thank you for hanging out and listening to me tell me. Well, yeah, I can't use words. Listen to me tell it to you. And again, my name is The Lenny Graves. You can find me on TikTok and YouTube at The Lenny Graves. And you can find me at Dysfunctional Enlightenment on YouTube and Instagram. And on Facebook and Instagram. I just cannot talk today. And I would love to see you there. If you'd like to get a personal tarot reading from me, or interest in spells and magic books and all that kind of cool stuff, you can find all that neat stuff at The Lenny Graves, except no substitutes, my dark and lovely souls. I do not solicit readings and comments or messages. You guys are amazing. Go be wise, cool frogs. Like Frogger. Remember when you get the flies and the extra lives and stuff like that, hopping through, no scorpions or alligators or anything like that. You guys are the best, and go like this. Have a great night, my dark and lovely souls.